Hello, everyone. Welcome to our series of graphic novel and comics roundtable Libcomix online series. I'm here today with Alina Chau. We're going to be having a conversation with her today kind of about her career, illustrations, her starting in comics, and I think we're just going to be here for a good fun time. So Alina, to get us started, here's our first slide. And of course, everyone that is watching, please use these hashtags to follow along with a lot of the great content that we have coming up. There are some wonderful surprises. We're going to have live hangout sessions. We're going to have recorded interviews. We're going to have some recorded drawing sessions, which are amazing. I've gotten a sneak peek at a couple of them. So just follow the hashtag, follow the Graphic Novel Roundtable on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you'll get some good stuff. So Alina, to get us started, you're Alina Chau, you're a creator, and this is your Twitter handle. Could you please tell me about this adorable little dog you have in your hands?
Oh, that's good. Peter is 23 in April, and she's a rascal. I her.
She's very cute.
And yeah, oh, thank you. She's my inspiration. I hide her in all my books. So one of the fun things, if you happen to get my books, you can always try to hunt for her in the illustration.
Okay, I think you need to make that like some sort of cool social media hashtag game. Like, I found Piglet in this book where that is really cute and awesome. All right. And this is myself. I'm a principal librarian of youth services and a comics librarian at the Escondido Public Library. You can follow me on Twitter at caffeinated_Dan. I just post silly, nerdy things and things related to comics. So all that good stuff. So could you, Alina, tell me, this is one of your illustrations that I first got to know you at. This was from, I believe, the Neon Monster. And we had a wonderful chance to talk at WonderCon 2019 on a panel for magical comics with kids. Can you tell me a little bit about the book itself?
Okay, the Neon Monster is written by Andrea Wong, and the book is a contemporary take of the traditional Chinese New Year mythology. So in Chinese New Year, the traditional story is the monster come down and kind of have attack the village, create a chaos, and the monster represent the bad thing or negative energy from the past year. So the New Year tradition is to lit a firecracker, everyone wear bright color to scare the near monster away. So we have like welcome a better new beginning and have get rid of all the negative thing that happened in the past year. But it's a modern take of a traditional story that takes place in modern day Shanghai. So it's really, really fun. Yeah, it's a fun book.
I will tell you what, when I was doing my research to pull together some of your illustrations, it was really hard to do because everything you produce is just such high quality and it's so versatile and different. But I decided to go with this one just because it was something I was very familiar with and all that. So could you tell me about your start in the industry? I know you used to be animator and then you transitioned over to children's books. Could you kind of talk about how you got started in that and how you transitioned over to working on that sort of illustration?
Sure, yeah. I graduated from UCLA film school, major in animation. And when I was in school, I was more focused in 2D animation, which is not a hand-drawn animation. But by the time I graduate, the industry only makes 3D production. So I ended up switched to do 3D animation for a lot of the game companies. And then my last job is with Lucasfilms, working on the Chrome Wall as a story artist. So what happened is working in 3D for many years and for a lot of times over 10 years, I kind of miss drawing and painting, especially during the game production day. I always work on boys title. It's like violent, people shooting and killing each other, which is good to make a living. It's always nice to have paycheck, but it's really
of course
not my type of sensibility. So I kind of miss creating something for myself. So after work, I start to get back at drawing and painting just for fun. I don't really have any specific career goal. It's more just a stress relief, decompress my work. And over time, I guess you do something you like and you get better at it. So one day at work, my coworker saw Pixar is hosting a Miyazaki charity exhibition.
Oh, I love Miyazaki.
I know, right? Yeah, so they're like, oh, they're hosting a Totoro Forest project exhibition and they're looking for artists. So my friends submit my name as a candidate. So they say, oh yeah, sure, we accept her. And that's the first time I do a painting and display at a gallery situation. And then people buy it. So I was like, oh, people want this stuff. At the time, I don't even really think too much about it, but it got me curious about maybe I can try how to make this painting, just improve myself, take it more seriously, and just apply to gallery, do it as a side thing for fun. So I was doing that for a few years, submitting to gallery, and over like 3 years or 3 to 5 years, I get better, and slowly gallery actually invite me to their show. So over about 5 years, I started getting a lot of commission, and then smaller publishing house find me at the gallery and approach me to do books. So it got to the point is I have a day job working at the studio, a 9 to 5 job, and I go home at night working on all this commission painting and occasion picture book commission. And it gets to the point I work at night and I work at the daytime and I can't get a balance. I just have a hard time stay awake.
Yeah.
At my job, I literally fall asleep at my job. So it lasts for about 2-3 months, and my performance at work dropped for obvious reasons. I don't get any sleep at night. Yeah. So one day I just have to figure out, well, not every day you have someone approach you for what you create for yourself. It's rare. So so I figured maybe I should give that a try. Is it between a day job or try to explore my own voice? And I figured it'll be hard because the day job is a steady income, but then when you start on your own, you don't know what's going on. And gallery painting doesn't really make any money because they take 50% of commission of what you
wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. So if you sell a painting for $500, it sounds pretty good, but you only make $250.
Which kind of makes sense, but you sounds like you're better off selling it yourself if you can find a way to do that, which sounds like you have, of course.
Yeah, no.
I mean, on your website, sort of. I know I've seen you at some of the local shows. Sorry to derail this, but I always.
It's not just a decision at the time, so I have to choose between try to give myself an opportunity to do some self-exploration as an independent artist, or just stay on the secure career track. So I talked to my family, my parents, that well, what's a try for a year. It is not going to be too damaging, and if you don't like it, you can always go back and get a job again. And so one day I just go to talk to my director, and he's really kind. He saw me walk into his office, and he said, "You are going to leave us, right?" Before I open my mouth, I'm like, "How do you know?" He said, "Yeah, I've been seeing the sign. You fall asleep at work, and you're like doing your thing at night. It's not going to last. Good for you. Go do your thing." It's like, so what's your plan? I said, well, I kind of want to give myself maybe a year to try this out. If I like it, I stick to it. If I don't like it, I will find a job again at the end of the year. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. We keep the spot open for you. You can just out in a year, come back. I'm like, okay, that's really nice.
That is a wonderful vote of confidence, saying go try your thing, but if not, we've still got you, we'll support you. That is really rare and amazing to hear about.
Yeah, actually, he still come back every other year at convention. He's like, so how are you doing this year? If you can't really make it, you can always come back. I'm like, I'm good so far. So far, so good.
So I think that says right there, what you did previously was very highly valued. So that's a good sign in a way. But I think it also provides that motivation. Nope, I'm going to keep doing my passion. I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah, so that kind of helped me kickstart as an independent artist. In the beginning, I don't really know my direction. Because I have no clue, so I paint, and there's people ask me to do some book illustration, some app design, and I figured, oh, people talk about convention, and I could do that before, so I tried convention. And you try everything people do at convention, make your own merchandise, make toys. So after a few years, about 3 years of exploration, try a little bit of different things, and I discover what I like most. So after trying different things, I discover my passion is in children's book publishing.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I felt like I like painting, but painting is not the reason that make me happy.
Sure.
I'm telling a story through painting. So that is a little bit different from, say, gallery artists. They paint, but their painting does not always have they have story, but it's a different type of story narrative. So with me, I'm more like storytelling story. So, and that is kind of what is closer to my roots, because animation, what made me love animation is also the storytelling aspect of animation. Right. You tell story through visual art. So at the end of, after I try different things, I discover my children's book publishing is the closest to my passion, because it's storytelling, and I get to draw. So that's like two of the things I like most. And I slowly just focus doing that, and then slowly explore more different type of books, try to write my own story. So that's kind of how I tap into children's book publishing.
For sure. And then can we speak about a little bit the way you do your artwork? I don't think we've touched on that yet. Kind of like how you do with your watercoloring, which is amazing that all your artwork is that.
Thank you. Yeah, I started doing watercolor because it's just it's a medium that is.
I'm going to move forward on one of the illustrations we have. This is all watercolor, I believe.
Yes.
And this just like blows me away. And I think that speaks to your thing about how it tells the story in the colors and just what you like.
Yeah, this is a puzzle game I create for a toy company, Crocodile Creek. So they want to do a Beauty and the Beast theme puzzle game, but they don't want it to feel like Disney stuff. Otherwise, everyone will be in trouble. So it's my interpretation of the story, and then it has to cover all the key moments in one picture, so they can make that into a big puzzle for kids.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. But can you go back to discussing about the watercoloring? I didn't want to derail you for that.
Yeah. So I started doing watercolor is a medium that's really flexible. You can do a lot of different style and look, texture with watercolor. And the best part is, even if you live in a small apartment or smaller space, it's still very approachable. It's not like oil. You need to have a bigger room and good ventilation. Otherwise, it's just quite impossible to create. So watercolor, you can have that richness of painterly look without very too expensive of an investment. You can do it at a small space. It could be really portable. You can carry it with you and just do a sketch on spot. So to me is, I used to live in a tiny studio apartment, and there's just no room for elaborate painting set. And watercolor is just a very approachable medium and relatively fairly affordable to compare with some other art supply like oils. They get really expensive, and watercolor, there's like even the cheaper one is still can create really nice stuff. So that's kind of how I pick watercolor. It's a very diverse medium, easy to handle, for just everyday convenience, and also just the medium itself has so much potential.
It really does. So what would you tell a young girl, a young gentleman, young lady that wanted to get started with watercoloring? What would be your key piece of advice?
I would say have fun with it. A lot of people feel very intimidated by watercolor because they're worried the color just go everywhere because it flow very easily. But I would say start with something small. Start using it as like a shading for a small sketch. It doesn't have to be a full-blown painting right away. That's kind of how I started. Actually, when I first get back to drawing, I like watercolor, but then I have to draw for a while, and I never learned how to paint in school. So what I end up get my pick up watercolor is studying Miyazaki's storyboard and concept sketch. If anyone is familiar with Hayao Miyazaki's storyboard or concept, he just do like little pencil drawing of his idea and story, and he just used one layer, really simple. It's almost like comic, but really loose, like comic sketch. Just one layer, color the skin, you know exactly what color that is, but nothing too complicated. If there is shadow, maybe just 2 layers, and that's it. So I just start doing that, and I guess because I'm from animation, so looking at storyboard drawing and those rough layout drawing from animation production is something I'm more familiar with that world. So I just look at his stuff and I just like, it's so simple, but it's charming, even though he's
really is.
Yeah, even the pencil drawing is rough. They're not like tight, accurate, but they're rough, but it's you rough, have fun, tell a story with a few splash of color, just then come to life. So that's kind of how I started. So I start doing, try to learn how he do it, and then I would go out when I go out with friends. I would go painting on location, or I go to a face. I have a bunch of friends, so weekend we go out painting, go to museum or a park or whatever, street festival, or sometimes we just go to a restaurant and paint the food before we eat the food, and that's really fun. And when you do that,
that's really cool.
It's fun, but you don't have time to do elaborate painting, because if you're going out doing activities with your friend, it has to be quick and just more a fun, relaxing thing. So that's kind of how I started. It's just fun to do it, but my goal is not try to do an amazing painting, just have fun, hang out with a bunch of friends who have the same passion, and hang out.
That's a really good way to do it, because you'll kind of inspire each other, you'll have fun. I really like the sound of that. So all you little artists out there watching, follow that advice. You'll be the next great illustrator we'll be talking to in a few years. So to transition a little bit, I know that you are currently working on a graphic novel. I'm going to advance our slide here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So this is my very first graphic novel that I write. Actually, it will be my very first graphic novel. So I never do any graphic novel before. So I'll be writing and illustrating for this one. And the book is getting a lot bigger when I first pitched the story.
Sure.
When I first pitched the story, my estimate page count in my head is maximum 250 page. Most likely is a 180 to 200 page book. Wow. But when I start writing, so that's why when I pitch it to First Second, I told them it will be 100% watercolor, because I figure, well, 100, they say 200 page is not so bad. It's kind of like about 4 picture book. Doesn't feel too bad.
So
until I start writing it. Now the final page count is 364 page.
Wow, that is amazing. Can you give us, well, you know what? We didn't even discuss the title of the graphic novel, did we?
Oh, right. Right, it's called Marshmallow and Jordan. Marshmallow is a magical white elephant, and
Okay, I
Jordan
love
is
that.
and Jordan is a little girl. She dreamed to be a basketball athlete, but before the story started, she had accident and she become paralytic. So when the story takes place, is pretty much her first year in middle school, and she tried to figure out how she can still be an athlete with her situation. So she rescued a baby elephant, and the elephant kind of introduced her to a new form of sport that she can participate in and develop a new confidence and still pursue her dream as an athlete.
That is amazing. So, how long does it take you to create one of the pages for Marshmallow and Jordan?
In terms of final art,
Yeah, like drawing it out and then painting it.
painting it, depends on how complex the page is. I would say per page is about maybe three to 4 hours, depends, average. So I try my best to do at least 3 pages a day.
Okay, that's good. So, is there a projected release date for this?
It used to, but with what's going on, we don't know.
No,
So
of course,
there's
of course,
a lot of things up in the air right now.
of
But
course.
my goal is to, right now I'm working, besides Marshmallow and Jordan, I have 3 other picture books ongoing at the same time.
Can you tell us
So,
about some of those other picture books?
yeah, so I'm working on one picture book called Bonnie's Rocket with Lian Lo as an illustrator. There's a Jackie Chan picture book with Random House.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that one.
And then there's one is kind of one of those group projects that I started. Is related to this one have not released on Publisher Weekly, so I don't think Scholastic is going to allow me to announce the title, but there is another book with Scholastic. Yeah, so all the books kind of deadline in summer.
So it's going to be a very good, if they all come out in summer, it's like, okay, everyone buy Alina's work, support her.
Oh, they're not coming out in summer. I have to finish everything in summer.
Oh, you had to finish everything. Okay, let's move that along. When the books eventually come out, buy them and support Alina and all these other publishers. So, out of curiosity, with all the work you've been doing between the picture books and your first graphic novel, I know it hasn't released yet, but have you enjoyed working on one over the other? I'd imagine they're completely different experiences as well, because the graphic novel, you're writing and drawing yourself.
Right, yeah, I like all the books, but I am tiny bit biased. I do enjoy the graphic novel a teeny bit more because I write the story.
Oh, of course. I like hearing that because we're the graphic novel and comics roundtable. So yay, graphic novels.
Because I guess it's 100% my own creation. It's also the very first graphic novel. So I have to say I do have special emotional attachment.
Which I totally get.
I think it probably would still have emotional attachment even in the future since it's the first one also.
That is amazing. So once you finish this one, your first graphic novel, you don't have to get into specifics, but do you have an idea for a graphic novel, a different graphic novel, a volume 2, some other direction you'd want to go in?
Yeah, I am already have a concept in my mind. It will be also in the fantasy line. It'll be slightly more fantasy element than Marshmallow and Jordan, but it will also inspired by my own culture. So Marshmallow and Jordan is the story, the cultural backdrop is inspired by the Indonesian side of my family heritage. So the new idea will be inspired by the Chinese side of my heritage. Cool. So the story is still kind of up in the air, but it probably would take place, it will be American, Chinese, and China, 2 locations. So hopefully it'll be fun. I haven't really have dived deep into it because I have a few books.
I mean, you've got a lot of projects you're working on right now, so it's just kind of bubbling along up there.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty amazing. You've been to a lot of these like Comic-Con, WonderCon, and a lot of other conventions and galleries, whatever. Have you had any fans come up and talk to you about one of the picture books you've done or one of the other stories you've helped work on, and just how's the fan reaction been to your work?
Not much. I guess the convention I went to usually is the really mainstream comic convention, so those people are not so much into picture book.
Sure.
And since my graphic novel hasn't out yet, so I don't even think most people even know it exists. So
oh, they will. I'll help make sure of that.
Hopefully. So yeah, so mostly people just come by and just buy the regular print stuff so far.
Which is amazing artwork. I will admit, I have purchased a couple of those pieces and they are hanging in my house, and I'm so thrilled. They're amazing pieces of work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So with that, is there your graphic novel I know you really enjoy. Is there one picture book that you had an absolute blast working on and you had hoped there was a sequel?
I don't think I don't know enough book yet.
Okay.
But if there's a book that I really enjoy illustrate in recent year, I would say is the Lunar New Year book by oh shit, I forgot the writer's name. It's with Simon and Schuster. It's part of their Celebrate the World.
Yes, I've seen that book.
The Lunar New Year book.
Oh, I cannot remember the title. I am going to use my phone to Google that right now.
Yeah, that one I have fun because that's the only book that I did a whole book in with rice paper instead of watercolor.
Really?
Yeah, because that book, it's also a Chinese New Year theme book, but it's more a nonfiction. It's more just tell people about the tradition and how people celebrate the holidays. So it's a more nonfiction book, and they want the illustration style to feel more culturally traditional kind of sensibility, but with a modern take of the traditional style. So to achieve that, I actually use rice paper to paint the whole book instead of watercolor paper to create that traditional Chinese painting kind of look with more modern design.
Yes, the author was Hannah Elliott.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the artwork here on my phone, and wow, this is really nice. Rice paper, that is really cool that you've worked with that. So the rice paper was your favorite medium then with the watercolor? Is that safe to say?
No, I would say it's fun because it's different. I don't normally paint with rice paper. And one thing with rice paper is a lot more unforgiving than watercolor paper. Because with watercolor paper, if you make a mistake, you dab it right away, the color leaves. As long as you do it immediately, you can still fix things. With rice paper, you drop a drop of color, it's just there, and then it just starts spreading.
Oh, okay.
So there's no fixing anything. So it has to be precise, and it's a lot harder to control how it flows because rice paper is so absorbent. I think everything just like flooded the whole thing. So it's really fun. And last time I do anything with rice paper was I was in elementary school. You know, when they teach you traditional art in those art classes, and if you try those traditional media, I know, last time I did that, I was a little kid.
So don't start with the rice paper, folks. Work into that. All right. Is there anything that we you would like to talk about that I have not asked a question about?
Oh, good question. I can't think about it on
Well,
top of my head.
I do have one thing. Could you tell us about the artwork that you have hanging behind you?
Oh, this artwork, they are from Marshmallow and Jordan. So what happened is it's a really thick graphic novel. And one thing about this graphic novel is the weather change during the whole book. That's one of the main story plot. There is
Oh,
a
okay.
change happening in the background, but it's not spoken in the story. It's more hinted that it's related to the story. So for me to figure out all the color scheme before I create the whole book, because I want to make sure I can keep track with all the seasonal changes and weather changes throughout the whole book, I make this set of what I consider is almost like what in animation we call the color key or color script. So I kind of block out some of the key moments, try to figure out afternoon, morning, dry weather, monsoon weather. When the weather starts to changing, you see the leaf turning color subtly in the background.
Yes.
So that's what I was. So I hang them on the wall. So when I'm painting, sometimes I'm like, oh, what should I? This chunk of the story, what is the color? I just look back like that. So it's easier for me to track what I'm doing.
Very good. I'm certainly looking forward to reading this and seeing all the artwork and where the story goes. I think we're getting close about to our half hour. Is there, I'm trying to think. I think I've been pretty thorough on the questions and all that. And where can people find you if they want to learn more about your artwork and things that you've worked on?
Oh, that's a good question. I have a new website, so yay! My new website is the same web address. It'll be alinachau.com. And I also have Instagram, which one that I update more often. Make everything easy on my social media. You just type in my name, Alina Chau, it will pop out. So Instagram, I use it a lot, and recently I tried to upload more watercolor demo to keep everyone entertained and just share art during this tough time. So I've been slowly posting more watercolor demo on my Instagram TV, IGTV. So if you are interested to learn watercolor, so check the IGTV.
Yes.
And I have Twitter and Facebook, but most of the content is that they all share the same things. And usually Instagram probably is the best place to see the latest stuff and demo and stuff. It will be on IGTV.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. And here's where I'm going to say Alina did a half-hour drawing watercolor demo for us that we're going to be uploading as some of our content. And it is, I got to look at it earlier today, and it is amazing to watch the process and just see everything fill in. So do please stay tuned to that. So Alina, I'm going to kind of wrap us up here. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. Again, we have Alina's Twitter handle here, but as she just said, go follow her on the Instagram page that she has. A lot more fresh content there. If you want to follow me, I'm at Caffeinated Dan. And Alina, anything else before we go?
Do you guys want to see Piglet?
Yes, could you bring Piglet? I was going to ask, but yeah, Piglet would be an amazing way to cap this off.
Okay, let me grab it.
Thank you.
Okay, can you guys see her?
Hi, Piglet.
Hey, Piglet.
Oh.
Look at the camera. She's my boss.
Yeah, I've heard that. Piglet is adorable.
So she kind of control my schedule. My break is her playtime. Snack time is her snack time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's easier if we do what Piglet says. We're all better off.
My night time is her sleep time, so pretty much I can't follow her schedule. She reminds me to take breaks during the days. Otherwise, I just keep working through and totally forgot I need to take breaks.
Oh, yep, nope. We always need that partner to remind us of our breaks. Those are important or we burn out.
Yeah, so she will come by and like pat me on my leg and say, okay, time's for a break. Play with me for a few minutes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing Piglet with us. I'm glad we got a chance to meet your boss.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap us up here. Alina, again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk with you soon.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Piglet. Thank you.